Well, we won the week. We've got a 7-day green streak going on, and things are feeling pretty good heading into a Friday afternoon. Hey, fellow traders, it's Black Coffee Trader. Today is Friday, September the 5th, and like I talked about yesterday in my daily recap, definitely looking today to be careful. Did not want to have any kind of a big red day. I thought about maybe not even trading. I took 2 trades today, 1 small loser and 1 winner, and we end up with a slightly green day to round out the week. So basically about $20 per account, nothing big, up $275 today on the funded accounts. Let me actually just make this thing bigger so we can see it properly. Let's bring it down to there. Now we can see all of our funded accounts. But yeah, so good day. Again, not looking for anything big today. I was really looking to protect the week and to continue on the green trend. Let's take a quick look at TradeZilla. Here's today, up 275, 50% win rate, and kind of true to form the way I've been trading recently. We had an average win today of 80. The loss was 60. Average win to loss 1.33, which is really good. Like to see that on the week. Let's go to this week and see what our stats are. On the week, we made 3,500. We had a nice win percentage, 57%. Average win to loss, 2.58. I love seeing that. Average winner was 67. The average loser was only 26. And this is an area, if you follow my channel for any length of time, you know this is something I've really been working on, is improving this win to loss ratio. That is a big deal. That really helps to be more profitable. Since I've been on this trend of winning the week, which is now 3 weeks, let's take a look at the statistics and how are we doing after 3 weeks. After 3 weeks here, 3,600 in profits. Obviously, most of it was this week, which I knew that. Only a 40% win rate. However, the average win to loss over that 3-week journey is a little over 2. So the average winner was 81. The average loser was $39. Big plus. I love the fact that I've finally got myself into this type of a stat with my strategy, the break and retest. Definitely are going to have some losses, and so it's key to keep these losses to a minimum, maximize our wins, and that helps us to generate profits, which is what we desperately need. So going back to today, let's just take a look at it. In fact, let's dive into the trades themselves. I think we'll just go through some of them here on, there's actually only 2 of them, but I want to talk about some of the notes here that I put on my journal today. So the first one, we had a $60 loss on the Russell this morning, and here's my note, break and retest of the 2401s, which just failed. And there's a little bit of a critique here that I want to talk about. So look at, we had a high here and we had a big level, which I'll show you on the charts then. And we had a kind of a double top high, a lower high, and we did break and retest the level, and I took my entry on this move up. You can see the entry, but we ultimately failed. And hindsight is 2020. This is a pretty major level that we have up here at the top, and I really probably should have been I should have just waited. It was okay to take this trade, and again, this is why it's so important to have a tight stop loss or a relatively tight stop loss. Basically, the trade is invalidated. If it goes below this level, this trade idea is no longer valid. Get out of the trade, and it's something I'm really focused on doing, and it's working. So that's that. Let's look at the second trade, which was the winner. This one right here, so an $80 winner, again on the Russell, and I basically just got back into the same trade. So the break and retest of the 2401, short after it's clear that the break and retest long failed, a nice little short down to prior day high. So after I was in this trade, I set my targets. This was my stop loss. Oops, I'm on the wrong thing here. This was my stop loss. Again, if this... Obviously, the first trade was here. This was the first trade entry. That was the first trade stop out. And so after I got back into this trade, the trade idea is invalidated if we break this level, and so my stop is right above there, and here's the entry. I ended up taking my first target like right here at these lows. I adjusted this level, and then I took my second target right here. I was just like, hey, if I can just get a flush down to the previous day high, that's been a good thing for me. I'll take my profit and walk away, which is exactly what happened. Could I have gotten more had I held? Probably could have, but that's okay. Again, I was not looking to have a big day. I really just wanted to continue to win the week. and we had a nice 4-day winning streak. So today just being green was all I really cared about, and managed to do that. So big win there. Before we dive into more of the trades themselves, I want to just show you this. This is the week. So on the week, we basically made about anywhere from 195 on the new accounts to 300. So basically 200 to 300 on the funded accounts this week. And so that's great. And 7 straight days of green, which is really, really good. So diving into the trades themselves, again, you can see there was a bigger flush than, I could have held for more. Again, this was the second trade. This was the entry. First target here, like I talked about, I ended up taking it right around these lows, and then I took my last one right here at the previous day high. Could I have held and gotten more of this? Probably could have. It's okay. Again, I'm not trying to be greedy. I just want to get out of today with a win, especially after that first loss. And honestly, after this loss, I really thought, hey, maybe I'm just going to have a red day today, and I still would have won the week. I could have absorbed that loss and been fine. But after we saw that this was rejecting, and we started to see, notice this little crossover point, and we started to have this red cloud forming, and that was really like, hey, I need to get short here and give it a shot. So we did, and here's where we're at. So that's it. That's a win. Today, obviously, if you look at the big picture, let's actually go to the NASDAQ. Let's go to ES. ES probably shows it a little bit more cleanly. So on ES this morning, we had this NFP report, which we came right down and bounced right off this 6,500 level. And then we made new all-time highs on ES, and then we had the big sell-off. And again, bounced off of that, and we have gone completely sideways for the rest of the day. So very interesting how today ended up. Today was one of those days where one could have had a lot of FOMO. I was glad I was not having to worry about trading this and trying to find an entry on that move down. There really was not that good of an entry for me. You could have had a nice little break and retest right here. You could have had a little break and retest short as we broke, retested that level. You could have had a small little short, but you're shorting right down into this major support here, and it just got a little bit crazy. So, big picture, we made new highs, and then we gave it all back and then kind of pushed. So we'll see where this thing goes. It's definitely after the morning move, the day was done. Unfortunately for me, full transparency, I had a horrifically bad day on my evals. In fact, I blew up some funding ticks accounts. I just had a bad red day, and it's survivable. I've done this before, but thank goodness it was only on the evals. But what I did is on the ES, on the NASDAQ, I was actually green. I was up. I want to say I was up 2 to 4. I know I was up 2 to 400 per account after the morning session. By 10:30, I was done trading. And then this afternoon, or right around noon, I saw this little area right here, and I thought, man, we're probably going to reject this. And I started shorting the bounces underneath here. I would get short right here, and it would bounce back up. And I did that several times, and I also took some dumb longs. I took some long trades up here at the top, not part of my normal game plan, and I completely got wrecked in this area. Just got torched. I probably took 10 trades with the evals and just got ripped. I mean, we were basically bouncing in about an 80-point range on the NASDAQ, and we had a similar thing occurring on ES. So just if you were trading that and you did well, my hat's off to you. That was an ugly area today. And thank goodness I was only trading it with evals. And truthfully, I wouldn't have done that with funded accounts. So shame on me for doing it. Did some damage to myself. I mean, again, this is recoverable. It's just evals, but it is frustrating to see that happen. But overall, I am happy with the week. We had a really strong week, made some money this week, and that's a win. And so we head into next week. So again, there's a wrap for this week, for today. Obviously, next week we try to win the week once again. Since we've been doing this, we have been profitable. I've had a break-even week. The first week I had a small win. Last week we had a very small loss, $6 loss. And then this week, obviously, we were up by a couple of $1,000. So that is good, and we'll just keep marching on. So again, appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Thanks for using code BCT where applicable. And as always, I appreciate your support. So have a great weekend. We'll catch up with you on the next one. Take care, and so long.